Hello, this is Mark Serwotka, the General Secretary of PCS. I'm bringing you an important update about the very rapidly worsening situation in relation to COVID. Now, we all know that there are a record amount of deaths in the UK at the moment, a record amount of infections. We have a much more infectious strain of the virus. And all of that has led the government to introduce a national lockdown in England, and we've seen the governments in Northern Ireland, Scotland and Wales also issue lockdowns in those nations. As a result of that, we have spent the last 2 weeks pressing the Cabinet Office to urgently increase the strength of the message that they send out across the civil service and related areas. That message should be unequivocally that people should be at home. And I'm pleased to say that as a result of the union's efforts, we have now seen a much stronger message being issued from the Cabinet Office to all employers. And that message is simple. The safest place for people to be is at home, and all people should be at home unless they are providing essential services and it is not possible for them to do that work at home. Now, as a result of that strengthened message, I'm pleased to report that in the last week, a lot more people have been given the opportunity to work safely from home. That is a good thing, and that is something we will continue to press for. But unfortunately, we are receiving reports that in some parts of our membership, employers are still refusing to heed that call. And in 3 cases, we have been forced to raise at the highest levels our concerns. The DVLA in Swansea is one of them, a massive site with thousands of people working. We already know there's been dozens and dozens of cases of COVID on the Swansea site. And yet, ridiculously, ministers and management still insist that the DVLA should remain open. That's not what they did at the beginning of the pandemic, and we believe now the DVLA should be closed. Putting people at risk, making thousands go into work at this terrible time is irresponsible. In the court service, we have had to raise at the highest levels our concerns that in the court service, it appears people are being put at risk more than anywhere else. This is something that's attracted to the attention of people much, much wider than PCS. We're calling for courts to be closed, and we're calling for our members to be allowed to work safely at home. In fact, in the court service, in the first week of this year alone, there were 533 reported COVID incidents. It's not good enough. And then there's the DWP. Because of a ludicrous decision that all job centres must remain open, it means more people are required to go into a workplace than should be the case. Job centres were closed at the beginning of the pandemic. They should be closed now. And whilst we welcome the fact that many members in DWP have for the first time been given the opportunity to work from home, many others are not, and that is largely because offices remain open. In fact, in the last week, we've seen very worrying reports from DWP across the country. In Cambridge, over 24 infections in one place. In the northeast of England, some offices closed 3 or 4 times in 10 or 11 days because of COVID outbreaks. In Wales, we've seen a big spike in infections amongst members working in the DWP in Wales. This is unnecessary and is putting people at risk. Therefore, my concluding message in this video is this. If you are able to work safely from home, and that's what you're doing, that is a good thing. And until the vaccination can be widespread or infections drop, we want you to stay working from home. If, however, you're being asked to go into work, and if you believe it is unsafe or you don't think you should be going into work, now is the time to contact the union. Firstly, contact your local rep. And if you can't get hold of your local rep, contact our central coronavirus response team. And we will take up your case either with management in your department or with your employer or centrally. But if we cannot make any progress, we as a union will not hesitate to continue to support our members and reps to take whatever action is necessary to keep people safe. We saw recently in schools, because of action by the unions, telling members not to go into work when it was not safe, we saw all schools closed. In our own union, we have used Section 44 of health and safety legislation to keep people safe, and we have also balloted for industrial action to force the employer to keep our members safe. We will continue to offer that support to anyone and any office where we have members or workplace where people believe it is not safe. Nobody should be forced to have to take this form of action, but nobody should be asked to work in unsafe conditions, and certainly nobody should be asked to go into a workplace if they do not need to be there. So contact PCS if you have any concerns. Look out for further updates. But on behalf of your union, I hope you can keep safe and well in these difficult times, and we'll bring you another update in the next week. Thanks very much.